Hello, hi. Welcome to GMA Talk, your most favorite, your most awesome, your most favorite talk show right here on YouTube channel GMA Talk and all your favorite social media platform. Thank you very much for subscribing, for liking, for sharing, for always tuning in and for commenting, for watching. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and stay tuned on our weekly videos on refugees and what is happening around the world on the world of humanitarian and migration. So this week, uh, we want to take the opportunity and the time to highlight what is happening in Afghanistan, in Afghan. As most of you are aware, or as many of you are aware, because there have been images on social media, images on TV, images on newspapers, videos here, now, and there, and the situation really, it's very heartbreaking to see what is happening in Afghanistan. People, helplessly, trying to flee for their lives in all directions, and some country in the region even opening the borders. It's a fight. They are sometimes opening them, and sometimes they are closing them, and the flow of people fleeing or running for their lives, and some gates are being closed, or people are not being permitted to exit the country and seek asylum and seek shelter in the neighboring countries. And so, just to back up a little bit to what happened on the 15th of August, which was a Sunday. That's when the Taliban, the group, officially took control of Kabul, the capital city of Afghanistan, and effectively, as a result of that, the country really became under their control, because before that the president of Afghanistan had fled and ran and left people by themselves to fight for themselves, to defend themselves really. And this really got me to thinking, is his logic or his explanation was, he didn't want to be the cause or the reason of fighting or bloodshed or more turmoil in the country. But my initial thought was, as a commander in chief, as a commander in chief, as the president, you know, the president and the commander in chief, which is the same person supposed to leave the battle, the last person. Whether to die, should die with pride of defending the lives of the citizens, of the lives of Afghans, and whether to live, should live fighting until the end, the life of Afghans. But to hear the news and report that, he's already fled and is out of the country, and whereabout nobody knows, and now to watch videos and images of some African people flocking into the airport in Kabul and trying to cling on a US military airplane which is doing the evacuations of the diplomats, citizens, and allies, and just to for the people trying every means or trying to find any flight out of the country for the safety. No, these images are really heartbreaking, and there's really nothing much, to say or explain, because it's all over social media, it's all over the news, it's all over the world, and I'm sure you've seen them. I cannot really begin to think, uh, how maybe people the day before yesterday were sleeping calmly, they had jobs, they went to school, life was normal or as normal as they were used to, and then just the next day everything is in turmoil, the next day everything is chaos. So this is the time that the American people, the Canadian, the Germans, the British, the French, the uh, all the allies, and all the people that really, all the armies and the countries which were operating in Afghanistan the past 2 decades, and even before that, all the countries who were working there to see how they can help and support Afghan people in moving their lives forward. This is the time now to come together. This is the time to unite and see how these countries as a united front can help and support the Afghan people, and not live by themselves, to defend by themselves, to fight for themselves, and to struggle and suffer along the way as they hopefully try to escape the country and their chaos. And to the humanitarian organizations, mainly the largest one, or rather the one which almost everybody knows about, it, the United Nations. I saw the communication on Twitter of the Secretary General Antonio Guterres saying that the offices around Afghanistan, they're still open, serving people, and that people will not be left behind, or rather the staff of the UN will not leave people behind, but this is the hour that the people need the help more and more. So, to the Secretary General, please, with your team, with your people, with your communications, with your partnership, with your various organizations in the ground, please help the African people. Please protect the lives and dignity of African people. Let this be where the African people, they say indeed the United Nations was there in the time of need, in time of chaos. The United Nations was there to give us food. The United Nations was there to give us clothes. And the United Nations was there, to give us shelter. The United Nations was there to ensure that our lives of employment, our lives of education and regular life continues moving forward no matter the chaos. So, and to the other humanitarian organizations out there, don't leave the people behind. This is what you have dedicated your life to: serving humanity, saving lives, no matter in times of happiness, no matter in times of chaos, no matter in times of death. And this is the time that you are needed more than ever. Reach out, support. And I was even also watching a video and communication from CBC News for the leader of Norwegian Refugee Council. We also really said that they are in talks and in negotiation with the Taliban fighters and leaders to really ensure that they support and humanitarian assistance and access continuously to be available, whether allowing the staff to reach out across, to work freely, to provide humanitarian aid and support to people. So these are the kind of initiatives, these are the kind of communications, these are the kind of leadership we need now more than ever. But not every country, the first thing to think about, or every organization, the first thing to think about is airlift the staff or the organization out of the country in times of chaos. So this is the time to hand in hand be with the Afghanistan people. And last week, a few days ago, the Canadian government announced that they will welcome 20,000 refugees from Afghanistan as a result of the ongoing turmoil and chaos, and mainly to be the interpreters or the contractors or the workers who worked with the Canadian military when they were deployed there. And then at the same time, their families, and so maybe some women who are at risk, some minority people who are at risk. So to the Canadian government, thank you for committing to welcome 20,000 African refugees into the country. And really, with the evacuation, we call upon the Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau, to really cut all this red tape, which will hinder people to safety, whether it's like long application process, whether it's long documentation process. These desperate times call for desperate measures. So this is not a normal time. This is a not normal application process. Things should speed up. The airlift should be fast so that people can be brought to safety. And also the Chancellor of Germany, Angela Merkel, announced that they might take up to 10,000 African refugees also, whether those they worked with or other groups or other minority or those at risk. And we call upon the United States to open up the doors. Uh, they have the duty and responsibility to provide and care for the African people at this time of need, because they were at the forefront, leading the initiative and the fight in the region, in the country, and the building of the military and the support of the military. And to the European Union and all countries around the world, now is the time to unite. Now is the time to reach out to the African people, to reach out to the, whether it's the new leadership, whichever leadership is left, to reach out to the Taliban, to really see how, you know, because humanitarian means the support of people, shouldn't be caught in the middle. You know, helping people, it's not politics. Helping people is not self-interest, self-centered. Helping people is helping people. These are people who need help, and really the Taliban, we really encourage and call upon leaders around the world and organizations around the world to see how they can communicate, how they can converse with the Taliban leaders and the groups in order to ensure that humanitarian access and support continuously and people are being helped. So stay tuned and being updated on what is happening in Afghanistan and the humanitarian conditions. It's really, really, really heartbreaking situations. So one video of a US military taking off from Kabul in the airport and people clinging, and so far confirmed death, of the chaos of the airport. 7 people are confirmed to have died, and I believe there's also a report of 2 people in different times who were shot by the American soldiers as a result of the chaos and ongoing. I think they were armed, according to the news. Really, there's so much that I can say, there's so much that I can go over, but I'll put the links here below. Educate yourself, learn about the situations, learn about the conditions, and support the organizations that are helping in the ground, whether it's the Norwegian Refugee Council, whether it's the UNHCR, the Refugee Agency, whether United Nations, or other organizations which are helping around, whether shelter, food, accommodation, education, employment opportunities. So support, support, support. This is the time we are needed now more than ever. Love, peace, and unity to the Afghanistan people. Really, the world should stand in united with you now more than ever, and we call upon the world leaders to stand united with the Afghanistan people now more than ever. Until next time, right here on GMA Talk. This has been a very emotional conversation, or emotional update, as when it comes to humanitarian and the suffering of humans. Really, it touches my heart deeply, and we hope that there will be solutions and path forward for the Afghanistan people. Thank you very much. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share what you know, share any information that can help people in the region, in the country, on the ground. Thank you very much. Until next time.